Welcome back to Crystal Clear Coaching with your host, Crystal Tottenham. That is I. I am here on a very, very hot day on the Gold Coast. It's been a casual sauna all day long. Even though I was inside most of the day at my retail job. It's an indoor-outdoor flow kind of mall, so yeah, it's the aircon just goes straight out the door to a degree. Just got home and I had to lock myself in a little chilled air conditioning room for about 20 minutes, and now I've cooled down. But my doors are still open, so if there's noise, it's just part of the ambiance. What can I say? It is Australia Day here, so I think people are celebrating. Wish they would change the day, because it's really disrespectful to the original custodians of this land, who, got invaded that day. But anyway, here we are. I do think Australia is worth celebrating, but be great if they could change the day. Anyway, politics aside now, today I just wanted to talk about what... If you feel into this question for yourself. What would serve you most right now to let go of? Maybe there's a few things you feel like you'd like to let go of. Maybe it's the bad habit of, picking up the sugary thing on a frequent basis, or not eating enough vegetables, or just, eating the things that don't involve vegetables. It could be ways of being you have, like not moving your body enough, or moving your body too much, and getting sore, or it could be that you have a friendship that is actually just draining you, and it doesn't feel like a two-way street, and you've done your best, but maybe it's time to let go of it. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a way of being around your finances, or any area of your life, really. I just bring up the finances one because it's what rings true for me. I have these silly ideas about how I can make money, and then I'm not inviting in other opportunities because of it. I think I have to go and work hard, work hourly in order to make money, and that's just not true, especially with coaching. The way I can do it is I can create offers online, get people to opt into my services and my digital products, and I can make money that way. And I've known this, and I've known the basic trajectory as to how to put that online and do it, and what you need and the ins and outs of that. I just haven't gone through the process to actually set it up properly. And so, do you think I can make money as a coach if I haven't done that? Not much, I will tell you, not much. I am lucky that I do have a client right now that just came to me through serendipity. So that's great. But there's so many more people I would love to serve. And it was interesting at work today. I talked to one of my colleagues about what I'm trained in, and just realised that she had no idea. I don't even think she knew that I was a life coach. And the amount of hours we would have spent together in the past few months since I started that job. Just hadn't mentioned it. And so and then I started talking to her about neurolinguistics programming and timeline therapy, and how we can go back to the young version of yourself, usually between the ages of 4 and 7, that made a decision to help them stay in love and belonging, and thus survive, because we're all coded for survival, back, whatever age you were, and then that pattern taught you, that young version of you, well, you survived that And we survived it this way by either staying quiet or speaking up loudly and screaming and yelling. Whatever way you coded it, when something didn't go your way or it felt triggering to your system, your system then starts to look for that. That's called the reticular activating system. And it generalizes, deletes, distorts, generalizes down to whenever a situation feels like it might be similar. And the thing is, there's so much nuance in every situation. There might not, that often our programming will then be operating from a place that's not understanding the nuance, because it's all subconscious. It's when we bring it to conscious light, to our conscious brain, we're actually thinking of it and we're realizing we're thinking of it, that we can notice, I'm acting off this pattern because I feel this from that time, and then any times beyond that then you hyper-stabilize that belief. And then, I can see how it really served me when I was that 6-year-old child. It got my parents' attention, or whatever it was, if you yelled and screamed, in order to survive and stay in love and belonging. Or, but maybe when you were 16, yelling and screaming to get the attention, maybe it actually got you more disrespect, because, it got you into trouble. You can notice how, that pattern might really serve you when you're younger and your parents or caregivers or whoever was around aren't paying you attention, and you feel like you need the attention in order to survive. And it could just be one moment where your parents, they're doing the best they can with what they got. They probably just needed to have an adult conversation for a minute, and you were not about it. You wanted the attention in that moment. And there's nothing wrong about any of it. We all create these meanings. Not saying every parent is a saint, of course. There's definitely times where there has been some toxic behaviour going on, and I'm not saying that that's not valid. But my point is, your parents generally are doing the best they can with what they've got, and especially if you're a full-blown adult now and you're looking back at something that happened 20, 30 years ago, you get to notice how something's still holding you back, and you're now the sole person in charge of you. And if you don't feel like you are, well, I hate to break it to you. As much as you might think your partner is looking after you, I can guarantee if you view your partner as someone who is supposed to look after you, and you're not stepping up to look after yourself, that will get very tiring for your partner, because they're also looking after themselves. So we get one human being in our lifetime, and that is us. We have to look after and nurture ourselves. Yes, we might have kids and loved ones that we need to look after as well, but we have to look after ourselves first and foremost, because no one else is guaranteed to be in your life your whole life other than you. So yeah, if we could all just look after ourselves first, that would be really helpful. Just in society, I feel like it would help heal society a lot. And parents are there to help kids grow to the point that they can make the decisions and look after their own human being of themselves as they get older. And there's a million different ways to do it. Not gonna get into judgments about people raising people different ways. I think parents do what they can with what they got to a degree. There's times where they need to be held accountable for bad actions, toxic actions, but also they may not have known better. They might have just learnt it from their parents and their parents from their parents, and so on and so forth back. And, as much as you can point the finger, if we actually just take responsibility as an adult now ourselves to say, I don't want this pattern to keep going. If you have kids, or if you think you will have kids, or even if you don't think you'll have kids, just like choosing not to pass on that kind of behavior to any young people in your life is going to help change the world. Help them cultivate better, healthier habits for the younger generations. And yeah, I would love that. I would love that. So yeah, we got talking about neurolinguistics programming, and I mentioned somatic therapy, which is feeling into your physical body and emotional body as to like what is stuck in there. You might have been holding on to things for like decades, and if you can actually just feel your way through it, find safety in a part of your body, feel your way through the bad parts that don't feel safe in your body, it's like magic. You can just let go of something like that. There we go. You can click better with the sound. Anyway, so there's such power in this work, and that's just me scraping the surface of what I'm trained in. Part of this intergenerational traumas and reparenting yourself thing, it comes from me also being trained in family systems. So family systems is all about the family dynamics, and I do think you can relate it to dynamics in like a workplace or any other organisation, but just family is the first and foremost, and the key one that it's speaking to, but it's, like there could be a pattern that's come down for 12 generations that's been perpetrated, that's really toxic and really toxic to the family system and everyone in it. What if you healed that pattern and that didn't go forward? It'd be pretty powerful, wouldn't it? Touching on that too, there's also family constellations, which are best done. I do think they have to be done in person. That's my opinion. Yeah, I think they have to be done in person. So family constellation is when you get a group of people together. Ideally you want at least 15, if not 20, 30 plus up to, I've done one with about 100 people, I think, and also another one with about 18, where basically we have someone whose family system we're speaking into to deal with a certain issue that person's been struggling with, and potentially some of the family has been struggling with, probably have, if we're going to do a constellation work on them, and that we just tune in to the energy field of what's going on in that dynamic. And there's a coach that guides, that facilitates. Now, I'm not trained to be a facilitator, but I am trained in how family constellations work, and family systems. I can do family systems work. But yeah, so the coach will guide the person who's the subject through picking people that, like, basically intuitively the person who's the client, we'll call them, will be guided to pick someone to represent themselves. And so they feel into the energy field and who's in the group as to who they feel comfortable having represent themselves. And then they will represent the mum, the dad, any other, like if there's a stepdad, stepmum, brother, sister, all that. So we flesh out as many, so that's why the more people the better, but they've got to be people willing to hold space and good energy for this family system. And yeah, they feel into what is going on in the energy field to do with the subject that we're talking about, that the client is blocked in. So it's fascinating what can come up that they don't know is happening in the energy field, but like I've been assigned to be someone's mother in a family systems, in a constellation, before, and they'd had some serious assault, let's just leave it at that, but that had happened in the family, and I was a little nervous to feel into that because I luckily have not experienced that myself, and feeling into it, it was actually really interesting. This particular person I felt into being within this family system was just numb. Like I didn't actually feel anything in my body, feeling into her energy. And I know this is getting very woo-woo, but it's such healing work. Like and the thing is, this can happen without any of the other family members knowing. It's just sending healing energy from this group of people. So much more powerful when a group of people get together to heal, to heal some serious stuff like that. And it went back that, it'd been perpetrated by generation after generation, this assault in the family, and it was insidious. And the beautiful idea that we could stop this going forward and stop all the hurt and the pain that was likely to happen if nobody did anything about this recurring pattern. If we can stop the pattern with this client, that frees up this family to heal, to move forward, to create beautiful things in life, from not coming from this place of just like a pain around this awful toxic trait that just keeps showing up in this family. It's powerful stuff, I tell you. Okay, I need to bring this back around. So I got chatting to my colleague about how I didn't feel until that. Actually, I wanted to tell her about family systems, but I didn't quite get to it because work, But yeah, there's there is so much you can learn about yourself, about your energy field, about your, like the things that are in your way to getting what you want, especially if you notice that you're self-sabotaging, like you keep saying you want something and it's not coming forward for you. Like that's where this work is the best, because we get to look at your blocks, we get to really see what they are, and then we find ways to dissolve them, to heal, to work around them, like whatever comes up. There's so many wonderful tools that I have that can help. So, my colleague today, there's just certain things that, like, she feels like she couldn't let go of from a very, very young formative time in her life. And, she's not like, she's not a young lady anymore, let's put it that way. But she has still so much life to live, and yet she's always felt certain things come up for her, anxieties, because of something that she hasn't been able to look at, that I know that NLP could really help, and other things. And imagine if she could let go of at least a percentage, a good chunk of her anxieties. How different might life look for her? How might she show up in the world differently? How might she, take a deep breath in, and just like let it go? How might she just be able to let go of things faster, sooner? Find healing for herself, and from that place be able to create whatever she wants. So what is one key thing, because I'm sure there's many things, what's the most prominent thing that comes up for you as to what you can let go of? Something that might just be actually quite a relief to let go of. Or it's just something that isn't serving you anymore. I mean, for me, I'm really resistant to having a budget. I've been resistant to having a budget, well, my entire life, really. I'm resistant to learning about, well, no, I learn about budgets, but putting them into action, I'll start, and then it'll get boring, and then I'll just go and get a snack, and then somehow I won't come back to it, and then I'll find it like 6 months later and be like, oh yeah, I started that budget that I was supposed to do. Now I need to start from ground zero again, and that's really boring, and then I don't do that either, and then I'm like, oh, why am I not better with my finances? So here we are. But I'm trying to lean into the uncomfortability of it more. Yeah, I know for myself that if I don't heal this, I'm just going to keep having this boring fucking conversation with myself. And I honestly don't think I have to have like a budget where I, put every line into an Excel document and all that, but I just need to understand my living costs and my income a lot better than I have been, and it would really help me to find my peace with having some kind of flow with a system to do around my finances. Am I sharing too much for my YouTube channel? Perhaps. I'm not going into details though, so yeah. Anyway, I know there is things I want to heal there, and it's like, maybe it's just that I let go of maybe I just let go of the fact that just even the idea that I'm bad at finances. If I can let go of that and just choose to show up and learn things. Actually, you know what? I have been learning at work how to track the hour by hour income for the store, and that is actually valuable. And like, part of me wants to run away because I don't want to look at the numbers and I think I'm going to fuck it up, and actually it's not that hard. Once I learn how to do it, it'll be like so easy. And actually that's probably one of the best things I can do in order to learn how to track money in a business, which is what scares me so much about my own business, and that has me doing much too much I've got too many things that I do for free or for cheap when it comes to my business, and thus it is more of a hobby than a business. And it's been going on for years, and I actually have such value to give to the world, and I get very sick of my shit. What can I say? So if I could let go of being scared of finances, oh, there we go, that's it. I need to let go of being scared of looking at my finances. So here we are. We got there in the end. Hopefully you found something for yourself to let go of. I'll leave it there because I've yabbered on for longer than I intended. But yeah, find that one thing to let go of, and chuck it in the comments if you feel so inclined. Otherwise, do it with you. Make sure that you're looking after a human being that's you. Much love. I will see you tomorrow.